Mm. And we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in, come on in, because we are having piping hot coffee tonight. Honey, we're going to get some caffeinated confessions. We don't spill our products. I know they spill tea somewhere else. We don't do that. We get the caffeinated confessions. Welcome, 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 welcome to Java City Literary Lounge. I am your host, Sharon Blout. And tonight we have a special guest tonight. I have known this author at least 10 plus years at this point, probably even longer. I've known her for a really long time. Please welcome Sylvia Hubbard. Thank you
Thank
for coming
you.
out tonight. How are you doing?
How you doing?
I'm
I'm
doing pretty
great.
good.
I'm trying to stay warm. I'm up in
Mhm.
Detroit, so
Thank you. Thank you for
that's a
joining.
that's a thing.
All that cold. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all do
I
it.
love it. You know what? It
Ooh.
is 4 months without bugs.
Oh,
It's just like a vacation without
them
bugs.
big
And
old
that's
water bugs. Y'all get those
no, it's
big ones?
nothing. We don't get for 4 months. You don't hardly get anything unless
Oh,
the water bugs maybe stay in the basement. So you just
got you. Girl,
but
because you know
for
Georgia get these big old bugs that fly like
yeah.
this.
I can't do it. I stayed in Florida and I went over
Mm-mm.
somebody's house and they opened up their door and when I saw the flying roaches, I knew I was not gonna stay down here for long. I was like, oh no, y'all, they fly. Oh, they
And they
girl.
do, and they big. Okay, I know we got off subject, y'all, about the fireworks. Let me really back in. It might have been too much caffeine going on, so let me really back in.
Okay,
Welcome to
thank
Java
you.
City Literary Lounge with Sylvia Hubbard. Because I can go on and on about them big roaches. So welcome tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to have you here. Tonight, you guys are going to find not only a new author if you haven't heard of Sylvia, and I don't know how, but if you haven't, I don't. You have been around for a really long time. But just in
Yeah.
case you have not heard of Sylvia Hubbard or read any of her books, you are in for a surprise. She knows her stuff. So let's get into it. Let's get some caffeinated confessions if we can. Are you ready? You ready?
Yes.
All
Yes, I
right. So I like to start this question off in the beginning and at the end. Can you please tell us how we can contact Sylvia Hubbard?
So you can always contact me up through my website, sylviahubbard.com, hit the contact button, and bam, almost all my contact information is there,
Mhm,
along with how to contact me through social media.
mhm.
But I'm usually easy to find. I can say now, Google me and I'll be number one. I know I'm number
Yeah.
one. But usually on social media, I'm Sylvia Hubbard one, which is what you see down here.
Mhm,
And even on Facebook page, I'm Sylvia Hubbard, or you can go to my Facebook page, which
mhm.
is Michigan's Literary World, and that has to do with my Motown Writers Group connection as well. So you can always
Okay.
contact me, and or like I said, Google me. You'll find everything out
Yeah.
about
And
me.
we're going to talk about the Motown Writers Group. So come on in. Let's get to know Miss Sylvia Hubbard. All right. My first question tonight, and if you guys don't know, Sylvia Hubbard writes, I call it dark romance with suspense, and she gonna leave you with a cliffhanger. I'm just gonna let you know. She gonna have you like, where my book at? Have you stalking? Where my book at? All right, she will, but she delivers. She don't make you wait long, but you will be
Oh,
like, where my book? Where my book? Why you doing me like that? So my question is, when did you decide to become serious about being a published author and why self-publishing?
I would say I decided to become an author the day I was about 12 years old and I was in a
Mm,
library and I walked by a Fabio cover. And
mm,
if I'm showing my age, but when
fuck.
you saw a Fabio cover, and y'all can look that up, but
Mhm.
you just
All
had
that
to
beautiful
stop.
hair.
I went from 12 to 30, and I took that. that book up to the librarian and I was like, I'm checking this book out today. And
Mhm.
she did her job. She was like, no, you can't check this book out, blah, blah, blah. And I did what any Detroit youth would do. I stole that book at that library. Girl, because I was like, I had to see what
Mhm.
was in this book
Yeah,
that
what were
this,
they talking about? Yep.
yeah. So I
Mhm.
forgot the book was in my bag, and it was maybe a Friday, and I didn't
Mhm.
open up my bag till Sunday when we in church, and at the bottom of my bag is this
Ooh,
book.
the stolen
So,
book at church.
girl, I put that book up in the Bible, and I'm sitting there quiet throughout the whole. I know me and the Lord gonna have a lot to talk about when I go to see him, but I sat there the whole church service just enthralled by this
Yeah.
beautiful romance. And I know what it
Mhm.
was. It was a Johanna Lindsay book. I
Okay.
remember that. It just changed my life about, and I'm 12, so I don't know nothing about love. I
Mhm.
don't know nothing about sex. I don't know nothing.
But you got some
But
education that day.
right, but the way she made me feel how
Mhm.
romance should be between a man and a woman just changed my whole outlook on
Yeah.
everything. I did, after about 20 years, I did return that book. I dropped it off
Well,
and
better late
walked out
than
the
never.
library. I walked out, I bought a new copy because I didn't know where the first copy had went. But I did drop that book off. But it was just the fact that, like, if
Uh-huh.
I wanted to be able to write like that, and then I
Mhm.
jumped into Barbara Woodwest,
Mhm.
then got into Beverly Jenkins, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
love how people connected on a sexual, spiritual kind of level, and they don't talk about it out loud.
Mhm.
And I was like, yes, these are the kind of books I want to write. So
Yeah.
that's when, yeah, that's I began my foray into just learning about dark romance, about
Okay.
the not just the, and people say, well, it's just kinky, it's just erotic. But when you're writing erotic romance,
Mhm.
dark romance, it is a whole different level, in my opinion. It
Mhm.
is.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Girl, look. We got them confessions, caffeinated
But
confessions.
I'm just saying, nasty people
Yeah.
need love too. Nasty people need
Amen.
love too.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. Yeah, people be acting like they don't. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be good tonight. I'm gonna be good tonight. I'm gonna be good. We know some of y'all be in there. We know y'all be. Okay, let me stop. Because you see why some people will not read a romance if it doesn't have love scenes. So you know that.
Yeah. And I
Yes.
think when people come to me and they say, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that dark romance." I think you scared of yourself.
Yeah.
But when you in a safe place and
Mhm.
somebody makes you feel like you can open up to them and you can get to a level of sensuality that
Yeah.
is unheard of, or you can't even talk about it,
Mhm.
that's a special kind of thing. And for a writer to be able to bring that out into, I've had women come up to me and be like, "Girl, I'll be reading your books and waking up my husband." And I'll be like, "Oh, thank you."
Okay.
Oh,
Make a
thank
baby on
you.
me.
So
See, that's good. That's a
it's kind of
compliment.
cool. And then I've even had men come up and say,
Mhm.
this, I know, like, my wife talk about it, but it's not. He said, first I thought it was porn. And he said, when I
Mhm.
read it, because she had left one of my books in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And so of course he had nothing to do. And he sat there and he said he read the whole book on the bathroom. Just
Oh,
he
well,
sat
that's
through the
we
whole,
know
it
it
was
was
like a
good.
novella, but he said he could not take his eyes off the page. And he
Mhm.
was like, it brought my level of understanding about, like, what she reads and what she
Yeah.
wants in bed. And I was like, well, thank you. I'm glad I could open up that door for you.
Yeah. And I think people get a misconception with especially romance. Oh, it's just porn, but it's not. You get a complete story with
Right.
romance, no matter what subgenre is under. They underestimate romance because
Right.
it's really not easy to write. You think
It's
it's
not.
easy until you get in it. You read it because for me, I know this is not me. What happens? I read a bad romance book and I was so mad, right? Oh, I can do this. I can do this, girl. Until you get on that, get in there, and it'd be a whole different story. So it's
Right,
not
trying
as
to get
easy
them
to
back
do it.
together, trying to do,
Yeah.
because everybody really don't, a lot of people don't understand that it follows it's the same
Yep.
story, but you can tell it
So
a
differently.
billion, a
Yes,
trillion
you can.
different ways. And it
Yep.
always has the promise of happily ever after or
Yep.
happily for now.
Mm-hmm.
And to get to that high, start at a high point, go
Mm-hmm.
to a low point, go back
Go
up to the
back.
high point, then
Yeah.
throw everything off before you have to get. So it's like,
Yes.
you know,
You got it. It's that is the fun part about romance. You go through a lot of emotions through a book.
right, that roller
I love
coaster.
it. That roller coaster of emotions. So that's why I enjoy romance genre, no matter which subgenre it's in.
Right. It's so
Yeah.
wonderful because you just
Mm-hmm.
know, even though it's going to be a happily ever after, it's just kind of like, but how? After all
Yeah.
of this,
How y'all get
how?
there? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When he cheated, girl. I like those good scandalous romances. You're like, girl.
Right.
Yeah, I like
Ooh,
those.
yes.
Okay. My next question. My next question for you. Okay, sorry, my allergies. Share with us, tell us about dark romance. I do know there is a stigma to it. So if you could tell us, excuse me, my allergies are bothering me. Why did you decide to write in this genre? And I apologize, my allergies are killing
Well,
me.
I did wanted to because I did just start at just plain romance. It wasn't like I didn't know. I mean, I went to Florida in college
Okay.
and I did everything sober, so I remember everything I did. So it's not like I didn't know, but I was always
Okay.
intimidated when reading other dark romance authors because I'm like, oh my God, to be able to put that, to be able to, because what dark romance does is we're not only is it open door romances and people
Mm,
understand like we ain't closing the door. You standing in the
mhm,
doorway in just a romance novel. But
mhm.
for dark romance, we on the bed. We can
Yeah, we
smell.
watching.
We can
Mhm. Girl.
we almost sweating with you, like girl.
Yep.
I I lost my breath. But I think even now it's even transformed
Mhm.
to I think there now should be even levels of even dark romance. Like, okay,
Okay.
does it include this, and this, and this?
Yeah.
Will it
Yeah.
include these triggers? Does it include this trope?
Mhm.
So it's gone into its own little world of what people prefer because even
Mhm.
people will come to me and be like, "Oh, is it dark romance or is it dark romance?"
Okay.
And
Got
they really mean that. Like you like, okay, well, no, I'm not dark. I'm not doing the blood and the
yeah.
guts and
Gotcha.
he holding a knife up into my coochie, talking about something, give it to me. Yes, girl, it gets dark.
Now I see what you talk. See, I've never read one
So
like that.
yeah, there are levels, but I think
Okay.
I'm maybe on a 1 or 2
You
level. I
are.
haven't
So
gone
like
into
I
the
don't remember reading them like that in your books.
oh girl, it's gotten darker. And I don't
Okay.
know why, because well, people want that, or
Yeah.
if it is, but I kind of stay at the 1 and 2
Okay.
level. But
Okay.
I want you to be on that bed with me. I
Yeah.
want you
Okay.
to feel what she feels. I want you to catch your breath when she catch her breath. I want
Mhm.
y'all to be screaming when she screams. I want that feeling because I think I just I
Mhm.
enjoy going through that emotion with the character so
Okay.
you can understand every scene means something. And I'm not one of those authors who just throw sex in the gambit just
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
just to keep the storyline going.
Mhm.
I see a lot of authors do that.
Fillers.
They'll just throw
Fillers.
every sex scene. And I actually have a it's like an equation in my
Mhm.
head that okay, we have to do this type of sex scene that equals this type of sex scene equals that. So each sex scene
Wow.
in my head, it has to be done in a way that it makes sense to the story, number one,
Mhm.
and then it brings the couple to a deeper level of intimacy. And then
Okay.
just like Beverly Jenkins always used to say, she used to always say you should never write a sex scene that you could take out of one book and
And
put
put
in
in
another.
another. Yep.
Every sex scene has to go with that couple in that story
Mhm.
at that time. And
It has
even
to
the
make
sex
sense.
scenes, yeah, even the sex scenes in the book should not be able to be transposed to another scene in the
Wow.
book. It has
Wow.
to have happened that way at that time. Because if you really think about it in real life, that's how life is. Like
Yeah.
some sex you can do with one guy, you can't do with another guy.
Yeah.
No, you be like,
Mm,
no, we
mm-mm.
you will never know
Yeah.
I did that. No, baby,
That's
me
for that.
do that with you.
Yeah. True.
But
True.
that's how it is in life. Like you don't, and a lot of guys are learning that you can't just make love to a girl the same way with a same woman. Then that doesn't make sense, because
Yeah.
everybody is different in their needs and wants, and what you bring out of them
Them.
at that particular time. So
Exactly.
that's that's why I got into it, because I want to get, I not that I'm trying to get respectful, getting respect as a dark romance
Yes.
kind of writer, but I want to bring like culture to the game.
I
If
got
that
you.
makes any
That
sense.
makes
Like,
sense. That makes sense. That makes
we're
perfect
not all out here slobbing, knobbing, and all this
sense.
crap,
Girl.
you know.
Girl.
But I think it's a level of just bringing something different,
Yeah.
and knowing that, hey, you're gonna get titillated, but
We're
enjoy
gonna be
this ride. You're
yeah.
gonna enjoy it. So
Thank you. And I appreciate it. So I want to welcome some people here today. Hi, Desiree Future. Hi, Vanessa McCoy, Lynette Sheldon,
it's
Tanya
past her
Rivers.
bedtime.
I- hey, Ruby. How you guys doing? We have some more, but they're just not speaking. So if you guys are on, come on, participate. If you have a question, please feel free to ask, and I will make sure to ask Sylvia. All right. Are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm one thing you will learn about Sylvia, she knows her stuff. So be prepared. All right. So the thing is, many dark romances features morally gray characters. How do you make them likable or relatable to readers?
Okay, this is a secret about me. I had no idea what a morally gray man was. When I started, right? And you know what? My second book was about the
Mhm,
son of a serial killer that decided to
mhm,
get revenge against the prosecuting attorney by going
mhm.
after his daughter. Now, being the son of a serial killer, you already borderline violent
Yeah. Yep.
and have no morals at all. You
Mhm.
on a wing and a prayer of if you're gonna go crazy
Hoping.
or not. So
Yeah.
when I put William in this story and he was doing all these horrible things to make her life miserable,
Uh-huh.
in order to make her confess to her father that he was doing this to her, and she
Mhm.
wouldn't do it, so he'd just get worse. He'll just do even more worse stuff to her, and she would not tell her dad. She was like, I don't care what you do to me. I ain't telling my dad.
Yeah.
But and then I wrote the next book, which was Jalen, who got revenge against a woman who essayed him. And
Oh,
I
wow.
and he was already a horrible person to begin
Uh-huh.
with. And
Uh-huh.
then he got essayed by her.
Oh,
And
then
then
he
he
was
just
just
became,
on one. Yeah.
he just threw all morals out there. He's like, I'm coming after you for revenge. And she was like, do your worst. Okay, I probably deserved it. I know I did it.
Yeah.
But
And see,
so, like,
when I
when
first
somebody
started,
came to
sorry.
me and said, okay, Sylvia, you write these really great, and I was at a conference, they
Mhm,
were like, you write these really great morally characters, and how do you make them so lovable? And
mhm.
I was like, I didn't know I didn't know what morally gray meant. But to make them lovable, in the
Yeah.
beginning, I decided to go with, it's kind of like the Godzilla effect. So at
Mhm.
the beginning, Godzilla killing everybody, and you like, oh, I can't stand this monster. He's just horrible. But then by the end, you really like, oh, tear that city up, Godzilla.
Yeah. Yep. Go
So,
get him. Get him.
so
Yeah.
that's kind of like that. But it was so funny because I was raised by my dad during my teens and during my tweens and teens,
Mhm.
and from interacting with him, along with having a lot of my best friends were guys. I had a lot of guy best friends all my life.
Mhm.
And these were guys who were morally gray, but since we didn't have like a we had more of a platonic relationship in life, I
Mhm.
would always be like, you know what, you ain't never gonna find love. So let me write a book about you. 'Cause I want them to see you do have some loving
Option. Yeah,
characteristic about yourself that no one will ever know unless they keep peeling back the onion, but you gotta cry in order to get to the center.
exactly.
And so
Exactly.
that's how I build my characters between Godzilla and an onion. Man, you got some really great guys once you
But
can get
well,
to the center.
yeah, it's a little bit. And so when I first started reading your books, I didn't realize they were dark romance, right? So when I told her, I said, "Oh, I read this book here, read it," and she was like, "Girl, you know." So I didn't realize that's what it was, right? So once I started realizing, okay, this is what dark romance. I didn't know.
Right.
Right? I just read. So for me, I read good books. I just read them. So for me, if you had oh God, a reputation for me as writing good books, I'm going to recommend. So I don't have a preference of, well, this is romance, this is this genre. I read, right?
You just
So when,
read,
when I
right.
used to give somebody a book and they'd be like, ma'am, what is this? I'm like, oh, her name's Sylvia. So now when I recommend, I said, well, look, how dirty you want to get, right? So
Right. And
good,
I do have
but
to ask
yeah.
people that too. I do
Mm-hmm,
ask people like,
mm-hmm.
okay, how naughty or nasty you
Yep,
want to get because
yep,
it's two different streets, but we're
yep,
gonna end up at the same place. But you just
yep.
got to know which block to walk down in order to get to it. But
Amen.
I try to write the stories for the great guy to, and he's actually doing the things that he would do. I don't
Mhm.
change them. I don't try to make them lovable. I think because in real life, when you do, and I've seen these guys fall in love, they don't change character. They are
No, they're
still
still them.
morally great. They don't become this
Mhm.
nice, the nice pool kind of guy all of a
Yep,
sudden.
yep.
He still stays a butthole throughout the whole
Yep.
thing, but you can tell he shows his love. And that's how these guys, I realized that's how these guys show their love in these
Mhm.
different ways that were magnanimous. Like they would
Yep.
do stuff, and then people would tell me, oh, so he would never do that for a girl. But he would do it for me because he did love me on
Yeah.
that platonic level. And I got to see that part of him
Mhm.
that nobody else. And I'm like, man, you
Mhm.
ain't never gonna find no girlfriend because she ain't gonna put up with your bull crap. She is not gonna put up with your
Yeah.
bull crap, and I don't
Yeah.
want you.
Yeah. Well, you better fix it. And I like
Right.
that. You give, for me, when I look for a book, it's just in what mood I'm in. If I'm in the mood for something sweet, I read a sweet author, romance. And then if I want something spicy, and I think that's what people need to realize is like, okay, you could read a little naughty and still be saved. You can still
Right.
read it. It's just fantasy. It's a great,
Right. It's
great
a
book. So,
fiction story.
yes,
But
exactly.
even Stephen King said, the only thing that has to make sense now are fiction stories.
Yes.
And that's a tough pill to
Yeah.
swallow because
Yeah.
with
And
everything going on in the world, I gotta make sense. I gotta
yes.
make sense telling
I
a
gotta make sense,
story.
but that don't okay. Well, y'all know what we're talking about. But I want to read something that Ruby says. I love a good unhinged MMC. So so Sylvia has excuse me, writes excuse me, interracial as well. So
Yeah.
besides the dark romance, she writes interracial. So I know a few ladies are on here like interracial romance as well. So you will have, when I say you will not be bored when you decide to read one of her books.
And it's
You
over
might find
60 of
something to
them.
do.
So
Yep.
it's
Are you
over
at 60
60.
already?
Yeah, it's up. We're at
Oh,
65. Yeah, Essence Divinity would be 65.
wow, congratulations. Wow. And that's why I said I think when I first met you, you might have maybe one or two books. That's how I
Yeah.
know I have known you for a really long time. So like, wow, 65. Congratulations on that accomplishment because not many get that far. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a next question.
Okay.
So let me get to it. Even though I'm looking, okay. So what are the biggest challenges when writing intense, dark, or taboo storylines?
I think the biggest challenge for me as a person is putting it out in the world.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge because I know when I come up with a storyline,
Mhm.
it is against the world.
Yeah.
It is what people aren't saying because even in Essence Divinity, when I tell people like I'll
Mhm.
tell people what it's about, I'm like, okay, well, it's a man that wakes up from a 6-year coma
Uh-huh.
with a 5-year-old son, and then people are like,
Like, what?
wait a minute, the math don't math.
What is happening?
So I know, like, and then I wrote this book back in like
Mhm.
2020 during the pandemic. I was writing
Okay.
on it and everything, and I was like, you know what would happen, and how would all of that go in
Mhm.
terms of the female being the reverse dub con,
Cool.
just going and jumping into that pool of
Okay.
okay, let's see
Okay.
what's gonna happen, and then so I think just presenting it, and it took me this long to have the strength or the courage to be like, you know
Mhm.
what, I'm standing by this book
Okay.
because
Okay.
even though the math don't math, it's a
It came
good
out.
book.
The math did math eventually. So
But it
what?
makes sense to me
Yeah.
in all of that. And then I wanted to bring, and I'm just not writing about, the sex scenes, but it's about the
Mhm.
themes that's going along with it. This was all about finding found families
Mhm.
and a medical suspense that was going on. And
Mhm.
it was just like, okay, how did he get into the coma in the first place? And just going
Yeah.
through that whole motion of story. And then when I sat back and I was like, well, I was so scared to bring it because I was like, okay, people gonna be mad because with the math not
Oh, they
math, and you
okay.
know exactly what happened. You know exactly how
Yeah.
that boy came to be, and
Yeah.
then bringing it to life and being able to stand in front of that story and say, okay,
Mhm.
I wrote that. Yes, that was me. You
Okay.
know what, I just kind of said, hey, if my mama liked the way I write my books, and she
Mhm.
has been like, she had been one of my number one fans till she passed away.
Yeah.
um I'm not afraid to tell stories because inside of every story is a lesson learned. You either earn it or learn it.
Amen. Yeah.
And I want to be able to bring stories to life. And even if they are taboo and we decide not to talk about it, well, I'm going to talk about it because it
We
does
need to
happen.
talk about it.
Men
Yep.
do get
It definitely
essays
does.
all the time, and
Yep.
no one talks about this. And I want to bring it to light because maybe somebody is going to say, hey, you know what? That did happen to me.
Yeah. And it does. And you know what? It's okay to talk about taboo things. This is why books like yours exist because a lot of things do happen and we don't talk about it, right? Or we talk
Mhm.
about it. Um, oh God, the word just went out of my head. We'll talk about it, but we don't talk about it. So what I'm meaning,
Right.
we'll talk about it with friends, but we won't talk about it openly. So
Right.
it's always it's a good thing now that books now you're able to
Right. And
come
I've
out of
had
the
people
shell.
who have come up to me and said that,
Hmm.
oh my God, this did happen. And one girl told me when I wrote the Dark Facade series, and it
Hmm.
was about a sex club, a secret sex club where, she'd get driven there to
Hmm.
talk to, be a part of this sex club. This girl said I unlocked a memory for her, literally, because she
Wow.
remembered her dad doing this to her, and she literally had just pushed it away.
Yeah,
And
I've
she
been
was
there.
like, it was like you knew. She was like, did you know about this city? Did you know? She was asking me these questions. I was like, no, I don't know anything about this. And she was like,
Wow.
this exactly happened to me. My dad would take me to this
Wow.
place. I would get blindfolded and they would drug them. And then, but she completely forgot about it.
Right. And what happens, and as I speak for self, because I have been a child
A
of that.
victim.
My stepfather. Um, you don't forget about it; you block it out,
Yeah. You put
and
it
it
in a
kind of
drawer.
pushes in the back, and
Yeah.
then something one day opens it
Triggers.
up. Yep, and that one, I think about 6 years ago. it just kind of all hell kind of just broke loose. So if
Right.
you don't
And
forget it,
that's
you
and
put
I've
it back
gotten
because it's
that.
painful.
And even with Stone's Revenge, with the son of a serial killer,
Mhm.
it was a girl. She said that her uncle was a serial killer,
Oh wow.
and she was like, it opened up so much
Hmm.
pain inside of her because she was always scared, like, what if that is inside the family, what if that blood of
Hmm.
his runs through me? And she said it opened up more things in her that she thought she never wanted to talk about,
Yeah.
but she was
Yeah.
able to like read the book and see William's transformation, and she was like, it just helped her. It helped her see a whole
Good.
different world, that her
Yeah.
life wouldn't be like she imagined. Like she could imagine a different reality. And
Got you. And
being
that's a
able
blessing.
to bring, you know, horrible things to light in people,
Mm,
to know that that ugliness is still loved by another person, that
mhm.
makes a whole different, because that's where a lot of relationships go wrong, because you don't show your ugly, you don't
And
show your
continue
Pandora
in it,
box
and
to
then
everybody,
yeah,
because you're scared of what it's
yeah,
going to do once you open up your Pandora
mhm,
box.
yeah,
You put yourself in this box, and you say, well, nobody's going to touch this box, no one's going to see the ugly
mhm,
side, no one's going to see that deep dark thing that happened. I'm just going to put it in a box, and you even
yeah,
hide it away from yourself.
true.
But what if I'm able to give you a story that helps you see, even when you bring it out, people still gonna love you. There's gonna be somebody there who's going
I'm
to
gonna
love
love you.
you no matter what, and is a yin to your yang to your kinkiness. Thank
I love
you.
that. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. If you guys are just tuning in, you are missing a wonderful conversation. My advice would be wait to it upload, go back to the beginning and get caught up and know a little bit about Sylvia Hubbard. Honey, you're going to be surprised and be like, whoo. And then you are going to one click. I'm just letting you know. Okay, last question of this. Can you give us a sneak peek of what you're working on with your last book? I think you just told us about Essence Divinity. When
Right.
was that released?
This was released January 1st. So it's
Mm-hmm.
still hot. This is actually the proof copy. I'm getting all the other copies in now. It's
Okay.
just been published as a paperback as of January 31st, today actually, and
Wow.
then as an ebook everywhere all over. So you can
Okay.
download it as well. So I'm really happy about this one. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually doing a companionship because one of the characters in here is her cousin Iris, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
writing her book live on my website
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
It's called Let Me Love You, and it's actually
Mm-hmm.
a boss romance, wife sharing kind of deal. Don't
Okay.
ask.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to read that. I'm going to read
And
that.
you can
Yeah.
actually read that one for free until I
Okay.
finish it. So you can
Okay.
read it for free. Once I hit the end, all
Mm-hmm.
the posts go private. So I encourage everybody to go read it now before all the
Uh-huh.
posts go private, because we're like maybe 75% into the book. It's
Okay.
like running right now 150,000 words. So
A
jump in
good
there.
book.
Yes,
Yeah,
jump
that's
in now.
okay. Okay. I'm going to do that. And where can we
Well,
read
as you
that
can
again?
see, I don't write little books.
No,
I
you don't.
can't.
You never do. You never do. And that's fine. I like to read a good book. So, where can we read that story again?
So you can go on my website,
Mm-hmm.
sylviahubbard.com, drop down to my blog, and
Uh-huh.
then hit the first Let Me Love You
Mm-hmm.
post. And then you can start reading it, or it'll be on the sidebar. You'll see the picture of the book, Let Me Love You. Click
Mm-hmm.
there. You'll go to the first post in the
Mm-hmm.
link, and then you can start reading it. All the links are down at the bottom. All the chapters are down at the
Okay.
bottom. You can just
Okay. Thank
enjoy
you.
yourself. My site is mobile ready, so you can read it on any mobile device, and just enjoy it and let me know how you like the story.
All
So,
right. All right. So, can you do me a favor? After the interview is over, can you drop your website and some other information inside the comments so we
definitely,
can other readers can find it? Thank
definitely,
you.
I will.
So let's play a game. You ready to play a game? Are you guys
Okay.
ready to play a game? We play this in building relationships around books. In case you have not joined, please join, but be prepared because I don't play the drama game. We are there to have fun with one another. But see, we play this game in there. I call it Would You Rather? And I make it hard. So are you ready? You
Yes,
ready?
I'm
All
ready.
right.
I'm ready.
What whatever your answer is, those are your answers, right? So it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna judge. I ain't gonna judge, right? So you guys can play along with us. Let's go. First question. If you can write in another genre, would you rather write sweet romance or historical romance? And I think I know that answer.
I would have to do sweet romance because I can't remember when shoelaces was invented, let alone Kool-Aid girl. So I be in the 1890s talking about something. I poured him a glass of Kool-Aid.
And with his iPhone. With his iPhone.
He sent me a text message. So I would probably have to do sweet romances.
Okay.
I think the only thing I tell myself I could never ever ever do would probably be like gay romance because I'm strictly dickly. So
your mind just doesn't go there.
even when it's two men involved, I don't even want their swords to cross. All them are mine. They mine. You can't go touch his because it's mine. I don't care if we're in the same room naked. I won't share with him either. This is my special attention. I'm selfish.
Oh my God. So yeah, I ain't with Sharon either. No, especially if you do something to somebody else, you didn't do it to me. No. I'm just saying. How I know.
Yeah, I would definitely choose. I have to choose sweet romances because hey, I can close the door. You can still hear the bumping. You will hear some bumping and some screaming though. But yeah, I will.
Okay, next. Because I don't know if it'd be sweet if they can hear what's going on. Oh my God. See, look at her spicing up sweet romance. See? Okay. I told you guys were
sweet with a twist. It's like sweet with a twist of lemon.
Oh my God. Girl, I was ready. Okay, listen. Okay, would you rather? Now, listen, it's a weekend. You decide, I'm going to go to the movies, but you only have time for one movie with one starring role. Who are you going to see? Glenn Close or Taraji P. Henson?
See, I'm a movie buff, and that's so I would say if I wanted to last, if this is my last dime, I would have to choose Glenn Close because then I know I'm gonna just be enthralled.
Okay.
But if I got money to spend, I might do a Taraji because I know I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna be like, ooh. So yeah, if I had to, I would just choose Glenn Close. And I know that's crazy.
No, it's not. I love her. I love Glenn Close.
She can fit in anything, girl. After she did that Deliverance one, I was like,
girl, that was Glenn J. Blige.
Oh, that was Auntie Glenn. Auntie Glenny was just Auntie G was G'ing up in there.
Oh my God. Okay. Are you ready for oh my God, that's so funny. Next question. You're on a 2-hour sorry, I'm laughing about the other one, so sorry. You on a 2-hour ride to the next book event. Who are you listening to, India Ari or Angie Stone?
I would have to say Indiari because she just stirs my soul. Yes. I love Angie Stone music, but Indiari words just hit differently in terms of you making you think and really hitting that. Oh yeah, girl, that was what I needed to hear. And I actually a confession is that when I went through my divorce with my first husband. I was in a low place, not because I was divorced, but I was upset at myself for not. I wanted to be a wife, and I'm like, I'm a good ass wife. Yeah. I know I would make a beautiful wife, and that was the tough part of like walking away from a divorce. Yeah. But NDRE got me through that. her first album got me through listening to it over and over and over again. It got me to get back up and be able to walk away. So
Okay,
NDRE
so
will
that's a good
always be my
thing.
girl. And it was so cute because like when I told my husband, my second husband, about,
Mhm.
all the tough times I've been through my life and how like when I get depressed, I throw NDRE in there.
Yeah.
And he made a special event and took me on a surprise
Oh,
concert with her, and we got like front seats, and she pointed us out. He had paid for like a special point out and
oh
shout
my,
out.
that
But
is nice.
girl, I knew this one. I was like, "Ooh, you ain't never going nowhere." I
No,
was
you
stalking.
staying here.
I was.
You staying here.
I'm stalking my man.
I love it.
He
All
ain't
right.
going nowhere.
You here forever and ever. Okay. And you ain't never going nowhere. Okay.
Forever.
Ever.
EVAH. Ever.
Yes. And you better get comfortable. Okay. My next question. This one's gonna be a little spicy. All right. You got a 12-month calendar. Who you want featured on it? You ready? Do we
Okay.
want Morris Chestnut or do we want Aaron Pierre? That's who's got who you want?
Aaron Pierre. Aaron
Oh,
Pierre all up.
oh,
I want his
goodness.
arm on January, his thigh on February. I just want to see pieces of him until we get to the end of the year. Just get a toe. I want to see a toe.
That man is fine.
I will take a cheekbone. Girl, I will take that man's cheekbone. For May. For May, I just want to see your cheekbone, nigga. Just
I'm going to breathe. Just let me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Last, look, see, I hope you guys are having fun. All right. Last question. Are you team? And see, okay, this question is, it doesn't matter what you get from either place, right? So are you team Dunkin' Donuts or team Starbucks?
even though I'm mad at them, I always have to say Starbucks because for some reason Dunkin' Donuts and me and driving don't work unless I'm at home. I have to wait till I get home for Dunkin' Donuts because I don't know what
It's
they put
still,
in there,
I
but
still, yeah, yeah,
I can't do Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah. It's
Not
not
only
too
is it not
strong.
strong enough,
Yes,
but
it's not strong.
I think they put laxatives literally in their coffee.
I'm gonna tell you. Look, can I tell y'all a story real quick? Let me, because Marion, she is on here, right? I'm gonna embarrass myself, right? I'm embarrassed. Let me tell you, I went to Dunkin' Donuts, right, to go right. Please, y'all, I know this is not about me, but since you brought it up about that little subject, I had to, right? So I'm at Dunkin' Donuts, I'm riding, and I'm talking to Marion. We're just having a good time. So I drink me a coffee, but I drink one. I usually don't put so much cream, right? But they put it in there. And then they gave me, oh, you've been such a nice customer. Here's some donuts, right? So I ate about 2 of them donuts, girl. All of a sudden, oh, oh, I was like, oh my God. I left my computer. I barely made it to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom. I promise you, for a good 30 minutes when I came out, people was just looking at me and I was like, I grabbed that computer real
I was
quick.
on a date. I was on a date, and then after the date, we actually was about to go to his place, and we stopped at Dunkin' Donuts, and I got a little coffee, and girl, I just took a sip, got in the car. I was prairie dogging in 5 minutes, and I just told him to take me home.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
I can't. Dude, he was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I gotta get home to my kids. I gotta get." Girl, I ran in the door. I ain't answered my phone because he was like, he was looking concerned. I was like, I don't know what they put in that coffee.
I don't know. Oh my God. I never, every time I see a Dunkin' Donuts, every time. So I know what you say is the truth. So
I seriously think so. It's a conspiracy. Is it? I don't know what they do to that coffee, but I can't do it.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Starbucks never do me like that. So, okay. Now that we embarrassed ourselves a little bit, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
After you get so old, you like, I don't care.
Yeah, really don't. But that was embarrassing the way I came up.
And I'm still, you know what? I can tell that story. I'm still married. My husband still loves me. So whatever. Whatever.
Oh my God. I'm happy to know it's not just me. All right. So tonight we have, oh my God, I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh, we have a giveaway tonight. And Miss Sylvia is being so generous. She is giving away 3 ebooks is it of choice, or do you want them with a specific ebook?
It will be Essence Divinity. You will actually get an ebook, a download. You'll be able to go in with the link and download the entire book.
Okay.
Plus,
And,
the first chapter of Let Me Love You is included in the link.
okay. So I is this like a fun book funnel?
It will be Gumroad. It will be
Okay, so I want
it's
to
in your
say this.
personal.
I want
Mm-hmm.
to say this. So any of the winners who win this, because this is a file, is that correct?
Yep, it'll be a
Okay.
file.
I
You'll
want
be
to
able to
say this.
upload it to your site. Yep, you'll
Got
be
you.
able to
So
upload
I
it to your
want
Kindle.
to say this. Please do not share files because authors work very hard. Book sales matter. This is how they support themselves, how they're able to help sponsor their next books and anything else that they're doing. So please be respectful and not share book files. It is
Thank you.
illegal and you can go to jail, or not maybe jail. It's illegal. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. But please do not share book files. Thank you. So that was my disclaimer. All right. Give me a number between 1 and 20 without going over. Please put it in the comments and I will get a winner because she's giving me 3 numbers. So before we go, I have, while we're waiting for this to, what events are you attending this year?
This year, actually, tomorrow I will be attending. It's called a novel event. Excuse me, a
Mhm,
novel event for romance authors, and it's a local event here in Fenton, Michigan, which is
mhm,
probably about 20-30 minutes away from Detroit. And we have a lot of local romance authors
mhm.
attending. So it's Fenton. It's at the Fenton Community Center, and you can join us from 1 to 6 tomorrow. And then on the 17th, I believe it's the 17th of this month, I'll be at the
Okay,
Troy Library and I'll
okay.
be speaking about diversity in romance. And I enjoy teaching about this because it
Mhm.
talks about the impact of African Americans on the romance business and how it became a $1 trillion business. It is because of us.
Wow.
So I love
Okay.
teaching that and educating people about how romance writers of America
Mhm.
became who they
Okay.
are, about how just how about what we have done to impact the community of romance and how we had just our aura has changed the game, our writing has changed the game, our
Yes, yes.
scenarios, our what we've gone through and how we've
Culture.
experienced love
Mhm.
have changed the game of how people do romance, how people write romance now. So
Exactly.
every romance author or
Exactly.
every romance reader should be just interested in coming in and seeing like what is this about. So
Okay. And
I'm
thank you. So after we are done with this, can you include those links into the comments as well? So
Yep.
if they're in your city, they will be able to attend. So for some reason, I wrote these numbers down. I remember 2 of them, right? And if I'm correct, it was 7, correct?
Right. 7,
So,
17, and 3.
yep, 7 to 17. And what was the other one?
3.
3. Okay. Queenie Glim, you have won. You are lucky number 7 with the correct number. And let's see, 17. Let me go up a little bit. For some reason, it's not going up.
That's about you got
Okay,
hurry
there we
put it
go.
in the put it in the chat.
Girl, the struggle. So, okay, the next person is Vanessa McCoy. She was 15 because she didn't go over. And what was the other number? 2?
3.
3. So that will be Desiree Future. Congratulations, ladies. You all
Yay.
have won a copy. Please message me with your information and I will pass it on to, what would you like to give them? Their email or?
Well, I'll send
Um,
you a link and
okay.
each link will
Okay.
just go to that book and they can
Okay.
just choose. Yeah, they'll
Okay.
just choose the book.
Okay.
Mhm.
Message me. I'll put no at matter of fact, you don't email me. I'm gonna put it right here. Gmail.com. So email me at coffeebrat2020 at gmail.com and we will handle receiving your book. And If you can, once you read it, please leave Sylvia a review for her kindness. So thank you very much. So last question before we end tonight, before they say, know what, y'all two is cutting up too long, too much, right? So, all right, please, this is the first question I started, and this will be the last question. Please tell us how we can connect to Sylvia Hubbard.
So you can always go to my website, sylviahubbard.com. You can always find me on social media at my handle is Sylvia Hubbard 1 on all platforms across the board, except on Facebook. I am Sylvia Hubbard, but you can follow me there or go to my page at Michigan's Literary Worlds.
All right. Thank you so much, Sylvia. I had such a fabulous time tonight, laughing galore, which I always do. So thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy. And please tell a friend. I'm going to get this from Miss Angela Anderson. Tell a friend to tell a friend to start coming in every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Java City Literary Lounge. And you see, we got some caffeinated confessions tonight. Thank you for joining us. See you next Friday. And congratulations to the winners. Thank you for joining us. Have a good evening. Bye.